You might have heard in groups or traditions the notion of surrender, and that you have to surrender all of your life, all of your thoughts, everything you own, in order to get some sort of promissory note for the future, or because your life depends on it. What I want to explain to you today is surrender is only temporary. What do I mean by that? In my 12-step tradition, we discuss doing a regular inventory. And as a result of that regular inventory, we are given back or discover sanity. And what is sanity? Sound thinking, sound mind, which implies that I'm not going to be subservient and I don't have to geniculate to people forever, okay? If you're looking for someone to help you and they still say, well, I'm powerless, I'm still surrendering, I took my will back, okay? That is not someone you want to work with, okay? Lack of power, that was our dilemma. It is no longer our dilemma. Okay? So, things to surrender. Why should I surrender? It's only temporary. I'm going to get it back. Cool. Let's talk about why that is first. And then we'll talk about ways to surrender and what we really should be surrendering to that would be effective and efficient. If the universal creator gave us life and gave us a mind to use, okay? It might be a good idea to surrender temporarily because what I am doing, what I was doing, was not working for me, whatever that problem may be. And so we look to God, Creator, groups, we look to literature, knowledge, experience for help. I'm kind of a smart aleck, and so I thought, well, what am I going to surrender to? I'm going to surrender to I need someone to help me through this process, just that I need help. I'm going to surrender to the idea that whatever I was doing in my past was no longer working for me. I surrender to I'm going to really need to write down in an effective and efficient manner an inventory, not so much in a journal. I'm going to have to write things down in order to analyze my life. Why is it not going the way that I want it to? I started surrendering to reading different literature. I started surrendering to not getting up, getting drunk and high every day. I started surrendering to hanging out with different people, although that one was pretty simple for me at the time because when you get in trouble, nobody wants to be around you. And I realized that I was going to surrender who I was. Now that sounds like that's what we call the ego death, the death of the false self. Don't worry, the self isn't bad. And I'm going to make another video about this and why there's no such thing as really selfishness. But I surrendered what I was trying to be in order for what I could really be. From a sort of an outside, reasonable and logical perspective, like there's that part of my consciousness that could look at myself and say, well, this ain't working, right? So I wanted to give that up. That's scary. I totally get that, okay? Don't worry. You're going to get your will and your life to run back. And I think it happens in at least one or two. Let's talk about some polar things that could happen. So I surrender. I do what's suggested. I get my will and my life back. And I start to make good decisions in my life. I start to see that, hey, this is my life. There is some power that runs through me and that I can help myself and help others. Cool. Here's why people are afraid. And first of all, if you're still afraid and you've supposedly done the 12 steps or whatever tradition you're on, you're running at an extremely low level of fear. You're either just getting by or you're suffering, okay? We need to be courageous. We need to be willing. We need to accepting. We need to be loving. This is kind of growing on this little chart over here. You need to look at this, look into the Hawkins scale. But I'm not afraid anymore. Now, looking at the other side, though, what could happen? If I don't do whatever the process is of my group, my suggestion, my tradition, what happens? I'm still running in guilt, shame, and fear. And chances are, even if I don't get drunk or high, I may, well, here's the worst thing, may kill myself. You know, hanging, blowing your brains out, things like that. And we don't want anybody to do that. Or worst case, another worst possible scenario, not worst, another ineffective possible scenario would be I would get drunk and high. Another one is, okay, I get my will and my life back and I just never start making good decisions. You know, I'm still the same person living in a false self, dealing with guilt, shame, fear, not concerned about other people, not even concerned about myself, right? So what I'm trying to say is, don't be afraid to say, okay, this surrender is only going to be temporary. And believe me, people want to help me. I'm going to tell you a quick story. The first person I asked to sponsor me had a lot of time, had a lot of good information, had a really good life. Everything was pretty cool. Here's the problem I had, though. I was discussing one day how I was dealing with some situation with my kid, and I was trying to figure out what to do. And my opinion, that I was seeking, just not even my opinion, the notion I was considering, hadn't quite grasped it yet. That notion was different than my sponsor's notion. And so I was going to get drunk and high because we disagreed. I never talked to that person again. Can't fix stupid. You know, didn't seem like we want to try to work through life together and learn and experience from it. And that was the point at which I took my will and my life back. And believe me, that's fine. Okay? I believe the Infinite One Creator is going to give this back. Like I said, what's going to happen? Am I going to be ready to get my will and my life back? Now, that doesn't mean I don't try to do things to better myself and hopefully to help others. I have experiences. I analyze and learn from these experiences and then share that knowledge on from other people. That way I'm not so much of a hypocrite. But one thing I don't want to do anymore is sit there and say, if you disagree with the idea I'm holding at this time, this belief I'm holding, then you're going to get drunk and high over it. That is absolutely ridiculous. And I'm not going to run your life for you. I have my own life. I have my son's life. What I really should be doing, kind of from the other side, is if I am helping you out, I might show you how to fish first by doing it myself. But what I really want to do is teach you how to fish for yourself, metaphorically. I want to show you how to handle life, because I may not always be there. And frankly, as an adult, as a parent, I want to see other people growing and be able to improve. One of the really cool things about different 12-step programs is we've learned from our ineffective experiences, and now we can look at ourselves and start to make decisions. So I hope that helps. I hope that gives you a reason to surrender to working the 12 steps of whatever program you are, or working whatever steps they have, or working whatever. I've seen different books and pamphlets. You work through them like little workbooks, and that helps too. Do it. Be willing. Be more than willing. Willingness, if you're willing, you're going to do it. That's what real willingness is. Well, I'm willing to ask somebody to be my sponsor. I'm willing to read this. Have you done it yet? No, then you're not willing. Okay? There has to be that follow through. It's a thought. It's an action. Thoughts, just working on the realm of thoughts, yeah, I might get some benefit. Working the realm of actions, I might just get some benefit. Doing the two together, I'm going to get a lot better benefit. So that's today's video. Click like and subscribe, and I'm going to keep posting these videos several times and just keep them short and sweet. And I hope you have a beautiful and wonderful day.